basically just wanted to ask you about your experiences with wellbeing and how you think wellbeing can improve in this industry.
In the mental health industry? Ooh, yeah, that's a big question. Well, firstly, I think mental health issues is something that everybody has.
Yeah.
I think we all sit on one end of the spectrum or the other, you know, or somewhere in the middle. So, in terms of what makes a good service or the things that help me to stay well, it's exercise, a living environment, relationships, sport.
Is there any particular forms of exercise or sport you engage in?
Yeah, I play netball and I run. Yeah, yeah.
So quite high tempo activity.
Well, for me, I've done that since I only started running a couple of years ago, but I've played netball since I was 11, and I play in a team on a Saturday, in a league. Yeah, yeah. Which I have to admit, at last season I told them I'm not coming back because I'm getting old and my back's going, and you know the ailments starting to creep in. But I've thought about it over the summer, and I want to go back, so I'll probably go back in September.
So if you was to start that, what other forms of activities would you do to
I do meditation.
meditation?
Yeah, I do that in the mornings.
So would you recommend other people doing that?
I would. It's a bit difficult when you first start off because it's hard to kind of be still, you know. But after maybe if you do it every day for a couple of weeks, after a couple of weeks, it's really easy. And actually, I can easily do half an hour or 40 minutes without because you just and so I think that spiritual well-being, because as a whole, and the spiritual side of things is kind of left out quite a lot nowadays, but I think it's quite important.
So it's kind of obvious, but how does meditation help improve your well-being?
When I do my meditation, I feel more grounded, I feel calmer, I feel more able to deal with whatever the day presents. Do you know what I mean? So if I've got to deal with a difficult situation at work, for instance, then I feel like I can deal with it from a much calmer space and I don't get, all stressed out and stuff. Yeah. And I notice a difference when I don't do it, because I stopped doing it for a little while and I definitely noticed the difference in how I was performing or responding to crisis at work.
Just before I close this up, if your well-being was adverse, if it wasn't that good, how do you think that would affect your work?
When my well-being's not at its best?
Yeah, not at its best. So if it wasn't meditating, you wasn't...
Yeah. I'll tell you how. I'd be stressed. I wouldn't make decisions from such a kind of subjective, when you can step back and think, right, okay, what do I need to do here? I think when I'm more stressed, then I just jump in and start doing things, and it's not always the right thing. I'm not always as thoughtful about how I can do something in the best way to make it okay.
So it helps to make it work more efficiently.
I think so. And I think it's better for my relationships because I can hear people without getting all stressed out or thinking, I don't agree with that, I'm more conscious of who I am and how I am with people. Yeah. But before we go, there is one other thing that I would recommend. It's the positive care program. Am I allowed to do this?
Is that where you work?
This is a little
yes,
bit of a... Yeah.
Tell us.
Right. The positive care program is a program that Touchstone are running, and it's a 24-week program. It's free, and it's for people with long and enduring illnesses, not just mental health. In fact, it can only work for people with depression, anxiety. Then it's not so good with things like psychotic illnesses. But it's a program of alternative therapies, motivational workshops, and just kind kind of bringing people together. And so over the 20 weeks, 24 weeks, they do 4 blocks of 6 weeks, where you do something for the body, something for the mind, and something for the spirit. So they've got healers, they've got meditation, they've got acupuncture, they've got massage, then they've got art therapy, singing. They've got something, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a tapping thing where you tap different parts of your body, and yeah. So it's 3 hours once a week. You do 1 hour body, 1 hour mind, and 1 hour spirit. And then after 6 weeks, then you change and do another set of 3 different ones. Really good program, and it has really, really positive effects on people. So carers, or and it's free. So you can spread the word. So you can refer. We've got some leaflets in there, but you can refer people to it, and it's generic. It's French.
So what's that?
It's called the Positive Care Program.
Positive Care Program.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a try myself.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's really good, and it is for anybody. It doesn't matter if you're working or not, but it is for people with a long and enduring.
Is it somebody who self-defines that?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So for example, if it was somebody who'd never been, because we're here at an event where it's people who really know about mental health services.
Yeah.
So, say for example, somebody who's never used a mental health service in Leeds before, saw this, what you've just said now, and could they say, actually, I feel like I've had depression for years and years and years, but I've never had a medical diagnosis? Could they?
Yeah. As long, because it's not about the diagnosis, because as you know, with mental health, the diagnosis, I'm not saying that they're wrong, but they're not exactly, 2 people are not exactly the same. It's not like an ailment where they say, yeah, you can see your leg's broken, It's not like that. So it's more about behaviours and how does it disable you, or how does it affect your everyday life. It's more about those kind of things. So somebody's saying, I'm depressed. They know how they feel, and and how that affects them. So it doesn't have to be kind of endorsed by tablets or a doctor. It can just be, if they came and said, look, I want to get out more, but I just don't feel like I have the energy, I feel weepy, I'm not happy, If they say all those kind of things, then they're the things that you would say it's depression. But they might still be managing. They might not need to go to their GP. So, yeah, it could be for that as well. So it doesn't have to be a diagnosed illness. Like I said, carers are a good example of that. They haven't got a diagnosed illness, but because of their caring responsibilities, maybe can't do the things that they want to do or enjoy doing as much as they'd like to, because they're caring for someone. So they're a bit run down, a bit low, and then it just gives them, upliftment. And because it's a 24-week programme, and it's spread over about 9 months actually, so it's a long time for people to kind of get back on their feet and get used to it and start kind of functioning on a bit of a higher level. Because a lot of the interventions, you do it for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and so you might feel great while it's happening, and then you finish and you just drop back down. But because it's such a long programme, so that it gives you a real chance to make some changes in your life or to do things differently.
I'm sold. Great job. Great job.
Okay. Now, what is this for?